This is Leica X2. It has large APS-C size image sensor, an equivalent 35mm f2.8 lens, and is very similar to the highly popular Fuji X100 series cameras. However, I think this Leica X2, it does one thing way better than the Fuji X100, and I want to talk about that in this video. Let's do this! This Leica X2 is not mine. It belongs to my friend Raja Indra Putra. Special thanks to Rippy for loaning me his Leica X2. Well, the reason I borrowed it from Rippy was because when I saw him use this camera on the streets, I was genuinely curious. This is not a review of this Leica X2 because this camera, it was launched in the year 2012. That's more than 10 years ago. So whatever that needs to be said about this camera, they've already been said already. And I just want to share my experience, what I like and dislike using this Leica X2 for my own street photography. But before we do that, let's take a look at some sample photographs first. Let's start with the things that I really like about this Leica X2. Number one, I love the design of this camera. It is minimalist, it looks really slick. I love the clean Leica design. And it comes in bright, hot purple. I know it screams attention, but it is so fun. It's the kind of design that begs you to bring the camera out and shoot more. Number two, I love that the camera is so small and so light. It weighs only 345 grams. And the camera is actually smaller than typical Fuji X100 series cameras. And there's just something so enjoyable using a really compact camera, and it can still deliver fantastic results. Number three, the placements of the dials, the buttons, they make sense. I can adjust the camera settings and access the direct controls very quickly and effectively. The menu navigation, it is simple and it's very easy to go through. Overall, the user experience going through this camera is very, very enjoyable. Number four, autofocus. Surprisingly, for an old camera, we're talking about a camera that's more than 10 years old, the autofocus on this camera is fast and definitely reliable. That is quite interesting because a lot of cameras from that time, even the original Fuji X100, the autofocus was really horrible. I'm not saying that the autofocus on the X2 is as good or better than modern day cameras from today, but for an old camera, it is still very good, and I'm definitely confident enough in using this camera's autofocus for my street photography. And finally, number five, which is the most important thing that I like about this Leica X2, is the lens quality. Leica did not chip out when it comes to the lens construction. They use high quality optics, and it is evident in the results that I got from this camera. Images come out really, really sharp, full of fine details, very, very good contrast, even shooting at wide open f2.8 aperture. And I just love the rendering, the look of the images coming out from this lens. There's a certain realism to it. It looks three-dimensional, there's depth. It just looks very pleasing, very organic, and somewhat natural. Let's talk about the things that I dislike about this Leica X2, or the things that I wish could have been better. Number one, shot-to-shot performance. There is a delay between each shot taken from one shot to another. It takes about 1 to 2 seconds before you can click the shutter button again. And worse, there's blackout as well. So there's a disconnect between one shot to another. You can't really follow a moving subject or see what's happening on the screen. And it's hard to follow action. And that happens a lot in street photography. Number two, handling. I'm not complaining about the handling of this camera. Handling generally is quite good. I don't feel any discomfort, any pain hand-holding this camera for my street photography, shooting hours and hours on the streets of Kuala Lumpur, walking around. But I wish there is like a thumb resting area or thumb hook at the back. But when I press my thumb at the back, trying to steady the camera, hold it, really grip it, there is this wheel at the back which I can accidentally turn. I wish the control dial is not there. I wish there is a proper thumb hook or thumb resting area. Number three, there's nothing to write home about when it comes to the image quality. I know, this is an old camera, but it has a large APS-C size 16 megapixels CMOS image sensor. And I'm expecting to get better results from this image sensor. In terms of dynamic range, in terms of high ISO performance, there really is nothing to shout about. The dynamic range and high ISO, I can get almost equivalent or even better results from my Micro Four Thirds sensor, which is even smaller from back in the day. About the same time, this camera was actually released at the same time as this Leica X2. So I wish that it's a little bit better. I don't think that's too much to ask for. And I know this is a stretch. Number four, this is just a wish list, but this X2, it doesn't have all the features which I think they are necessary for street photography or general photography, like image stabilization and tilt screen. With those features, this Leica X2 could have been an almost perfect street photography machine. It is difficult to avoid the comparison between this Leica X2 versus the highly popular Fuji X100 series cameras. After all, these cameras, they share plenty of similarities: large size APS-C image sensor and equivalent 35mm focal length, which is a fixed lens. There are many differences as well, but I'm not going to go through all the differences, the comparisons side by side, who is better, who is the winner, who has better image quality, who has better performance. It is pointless to do that. And I've learned the hard way my lessons that from the past, Fuji fans, they are some kind of a special breed. Let's not mess with them. Let them be happy with whatever that they have, right? But I'm gonna say this just one thing which is the truth. Even if the Fuji fans come and attack me, I'm okay with that. It's just one thing. This lens in this Leica X2 is way better than the lens on the Fuji X100 series cameras. That lens is just simply crap. It renders very flat images. The rendering is just horrible. The bokeh is ugly. There's no dimension to the photograph. The sharpness is horrible if you shoot close up. If you shoot wide open f2, f2.8, images don't look good. Contrast is really poor. Overall, the quality is just so bad. That's the reason I sold off my Fuji X100 twice. I bought the original X100 and I mistakenly bought the Fuji X100F because I thought they have improved the lens. They used a different lens, but when I found that they used the same lens from the first generation in a higher megapixel image sensor, I was totally mind blown. Not in a good way. That's all I have to share about this Leica X2 and how I really enjoy it for my street photography. I think it's quite a capable camera, but it is an old camera, and I understand the price point is not exactly very friendly for most people. It is a Leica after all, it has a red dot. But hey, price is subjective. What you can afford and what I can afford are totally different things. So I do wish that Leica will bring back this series, maybe an X3 or X4 or whatever they want to call it in the newer version, with a compact size camera, large APS-C sensor and a fixed 35mm lens. I think it will be a great competitor to the Fuji X100 series camera. They obviously know what they are doing, and yeah, the camera itself is really fun to use. Do you agree with my thoughts? If you have enjoyed looking at my photographs, please consider buying me a cup of coffee, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal or join as a member on this channel. Any support, any contribution goes a long way, will definitely inspire me to create more content and share them right here. Until the next one, please go out and take more photographs. Bye-bye.